To tackle the deep economic divergences, the deep asymmetries between continents, between families, between countries. But unity in a context of complementarity in order to meet our people's needs. This ongoing debate concerning the financial crisis, climate change, this is an ongoing debate to tackle the problems of democracy, as well as the energy and food crises. I welcome a number of the statements that were made, which addressed and which focused upon the origins of this crisis. But the majority of the presidents here and the majority of the statements made only referred to the effects, but not to the causes. And I would like to speak to you frankly, to the listeners here, and to those who are following the debates taking place in this global forum. I would like to say this: the origin of this crisis is the unbridled consumption, the unbridled accumulation of capital in a few hands, the looting of natural resources, the commercialization of Mother Earth. And above all, I believe its origin lies in an economic model, an economic system, namely that of capitalism. If we do not speak truly to our peoples concerning the origins of this crisis, then we will be misleading ourselves and we will be misleading the international community. We will be misleading our peoples who have great expectations of their governments, their presidents, and forums such as these. We are seeking peace. In light of our experience, we know that there cannot be social peace while there is economic injustice, inequality, and all the more so when there are military bases in a number of countries. They may be located in many continents, but also in Latin America and South America. How can we hold these discussions when United States military bases provoke distrust among peoples? Let me briefly tell you that I was a victim of the military bases operating in my country before I assumed the office of president, before the social movements opposed policies and became protagonists in a new country on an equal footing and with social justice. All of us were victims of the presence of the United States in Bolivia. And as victims, we know what uniformed personnel of the United States can do in one single country in South America. And for that reason, I would like to say to you that when there is a military base, a United States military base, in particular in Latin America, I do not know how their conduct is in Europe or on other continents, but in Latin America, when there are military bases, well, that cannot guarantee social peace, nor can it guarantee democracy, and certainly it cannot guarantee the integration of our countries or of the peoples who are seeking to bring about deep-rooted changes in our social, economic, and cultural structures. Here we have before us Honduras. There's a military base, a United States military base in Honduras. That military base cannot guarantee democracy. There are coups d'etats occurring everywhere. But let me tell you, my brothers, fellow presidents, that there were attempts to bring about a coup d'etat in Bolivia. Through the involvement of the international community, in particular of the Southern Cone, we were able to halt that civilian coup d'etat. It was not a military attempt at a coup d'etat in my country. It was a failed attempt. For these reasons, We are convinced that military bases cannot guarantee social peace, democracy, or integration. And as we are currently discussing climate change, I would like to propose to you, colleagues, fellow presidents, delegates from different countries, brothers, those who are listening worldwide, I would like to submit to you our very simple proposal, which consists of 3 points. Firstly, the developed countries must acknowledge and pay for the climate debt that they have to humankind as a whole and to this planet. Secondly, we must establish a court for climate justice, which will try and punish those who fail to meet their commitments, and to try those who continue to damage planet Earth. We need a structure that can quantify the damage that has been caused by a number of countries, by a number of transnational companies, and therefore, presidents, delegations, this court must be established, this court for climate justice. And thirdly, this is one of the proposals which has been developed above all by indigenous movements. The United Nations must establish a declaration containing the rights of this planet, of Mother Earth. We need a real democratization of the United Nations, and therefore we suggest the following. Permanent members of the Security Council, as well as their right to veto, must be eliminated. It is impossible that here in the 21st century we maintain long outdated totalitarian practices that date back to the time of monarchies. All our countries must hold the same rights within the United Nations. Those who have proclaimed themselves to be the leaders of democracy must relinquish their privileges and must accept the true democratization of the Security Council. We must be responsible